Welcome back, everybody. Sorry for not making any content in a while, but here I am. Now, this is news breaking right here, this news article, because you're going to find out why. And this is huge for Hispanic American citizens, right? It's a shame I have to sit here and say Hispanic American citizens without just being able to say, yeah, for Mexicans, right? Because we have to explain, yeah, we're American citizens. But anyways, this is huge. So I'm going to read this article with you and drop a comment. Tell me what you think. So Lulac endorses Harris and Wals in 2024 election, a first in its history. We are proud to endorse Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. So this was August 10th, 2024, 2 weeks ago. When so the political arm of the League of United Latin American Citizens. That's what LULAC means, this acronym right here. League of United Latin American Citizens is making history with the endorsement of a presidential candidate, a first in its nearly 100-year history. That's huge. This group took to X on Friday, August 9th, that it will be endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris for president and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz for vice president. Why? We're going to discover why. This decision is a historical first for the nation's largest and oldest Latino civil rights organization that was founded in 1929, 95 years ago, you guys. So for people that are here in the United States of America, yeah, Hispanics, Mexicans, Latinos, we've been here before the United States was created, before the 13 colonies were just governed by the Spanish government, starting back in 500 years ago, right here in the United States of America, we're half Spanish and we're half um, Native American. Today, we are proud to endorse Kamala Harris and Tim Walz because of the real issues facing Latino communities. What are these real issues, right? And all Americans across the nation, and this is how it should be when an organization pushes its issues about what it's facing in their Latino communities, for example, right? They also have to represent all Americans across the nation. That's just the way it is. We're, we're all citizens here. We're all Americans. We can trust them to do what is right for our community and the country, said Lulac Adelante PAC chairman and past Lulac national president Domingo Garcia. And if you read this article, they give the reasons also why. Look at this. The group listed ways it believes Harris has helped impact the Latino community as vice president, including but not limited to making America's immigration system more fair and just through family unity efforts. Support, and people are like, why? Why is this an issue in the Latino community, in the Hispanic community in the United States of America? Because we have us that remain in the United States of America, we've been cut off from family members in Mexico and the rest of America when the United States of America was founded, and we did our part in building the United States of America. I mean, we go all the way back to the American Civil War. Unfortunately, in that era, Hispanics fought for the Confederates, and majority of Hispanics fought for the Union to free people. And during this time, prior to um, American history, back in the 1860s, Mexico outlawed slavery in Mexico around 1820. And during that time frame, see, we let's face the fact: being Hispanic in the United States of America, we're always censored. Always, we're always ignored and censored and forgotten about And this is wrong, because during this time frame before the American Civil War began, Hispanics were already helping enslave, the black community today. Their ancestors were Our ancestors were helping them to escape to Mexico, and that's why you have Mexicans that are black in Mexico. And another thing in Mexico, you guys probably don't know, um, they don't judge you by your skin color. Like there's no such thing as white, black, you know, brown. It's you're Mexican. There's a lot of Mexicans that are black that were helped to escape from slavery to become free people in Mexico during that time. Um, so it impacts our community today because look at what Donald Trump is saying. He wants to deport. Now he's saying he wants to deport around what 140 million Americans from from the United States of America to Mexico, deep in South America, like he said before. And a lot of Hispanics are not aware and educated in American history to know about the recent era of 100 years ago, um, called the Mexican American Repatriation Act, when the United States government, the Republican presidents, right, Hispanics needed to listen to this. These were not Hispanics, but these were Republican United States presidents who it began with Herbert Hoover. His response, I believe, after Pancho Villa, and the Mexican Revolution. Pancho Villa went all the way to New Mexico and attacked a United States Army depot to get ammunition. And after that, he enacted the Mexican American Repatriation Act. I'll make videos about that here in the future, you guys, God willing. Um, and that's where the mass deporting began. And it went all the way up into the 1950s, and it still plagues us today because now we have to tell people we're American citizens. Can you imagine that? Just critically think about this with me. Let's think this through. We're the Native Americans, we're the indigenous people to this whole continent on this side. And here in the United States of America, there's a huge population of Hispanics that always been in the United States of America before the United States of America was created and afterwards. And we're told by other people horrible names, right? Go back where you come from. You can't speak Spanish. Um, you know, and Donald Trump was referring to that era back in the 1930s through the 1950s, and the Republican presidents that pushed it. Now, some people try to say that Franklin D. Roosevelt because they're saying that today because he was a Democrat president, that he is the one that enacted the Mexican American Repatriation Act. And what was wrong about this period that the Republican president Herbert Hoover initiated was that up to 2 million Mexican Latino families were deported to Mexico and and South America, and they had no ties to anybody in Mexico because they were all from the United States of America. And during that period, just 100 years ago, this was across the United States of America. And being Hispanic, it's on us, like Lulac. We have to represent ourselves. We have to um, wrap our mind around the fact that this is our land and we're proud to be citizens of the United States of America. So that's what the impact is on our community and the racial discrimination you see on the news. I mean, it's so bad that news reporters are saying on CNN when they refer to Operation Wet Vac, right? I'm not going to say the B word because that's racially discriminating against myself and other people that are Hispanic. And we allow this. So other communities been wondering, where are the Hispanic communities at? How come they're not advocating for civil rights? And here we are. Um, that was the end of that article. But here we are, you guys. And there's one last paragraph. It's kind of weird how they have this all chopped up. But commercials gotta make money, right? Um, let's be proud, you guys. Let's be proud. Now, there's another news report I'm going to show you because I'm unbiased. I'm not going to mislead anybody, and for my personal benefit. There's a stir going on right now with Lulac across the United States of America, and we'll talk about it in my next video that I make about what the friction is. So here we are, America. People are wondering where we are. We need the Lulac. We need um, Hispanics to publicly speak out against the racial discrimination against Hispanic American citizens and immigrants that are coming here, all immigrants. And we have to do this in the most intelligent, respectful way. If not, it's just going to cause a lot of friction. And this is what Donald Trump wants to do, is to get rid of this. And Kamala Harris and Tim Walz here in 2024, this issue is so big that Lulac broke their tradition not endorsing any politician, including any United States president. But this time they are, because the civil right violations towards Hispanic American citizens at work is just disgraceful. If you watch my videos, me ranting, right? A couple of years ago, I made videos about my work accidents in Amarillo, Texas, a red county, how I was crushed with an excavator bucket at my third work accident at work, and denied medical treatment. And then when I filed a workers' compensation claim, I was retaliated with the Texas by the Texas Mutual Insurance Company, and they committed so much insurance fraud. I mean, I have everything documented, but that's how bad the racial. I'm just giving you a little background. Um, to how the racial tensions are towards against Hispanic American citizens or Latinos here in Texas. It's bad, you guys. Can you imagine being crushed with an excavator bucket? I should be dead. My body, yeah, I have over 100 catastrophic injuries throughout my body from head to toe. Yep, sure enough. I'm glad Lulac is supporting Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. We need that. You guys can feel the vibe. You can feel the energy. You can feel the positivity. You can feel the creativity when they speak, right? I'm just getting excited about it right now. Now compare her and Tim Walz speeches, compare them to Donald Trump. What he's saying, this guy is still spewing hatred, still spewing lies about the deep state, right? In 2020 presidential election. But what do you do when you're a criminal committing crimes? You're not going to go public and say you're committing these crimes. You're going to blame, right, to cover up your dirty work. You're going to blame another party, another group of people. So, and that's, the thing, and that's the racial tension right now here in the United States of America towards us Hispanics, right? Everyone thinks we're legal immigrants. And now it's on us to publicly shoot down this false claim. We're American citizens and we support our United States Constitution and we support the law. These people coming here are not illegal, by the way. That's the democratic process that we have. Once you set foot here on American soil, you're able to stay and work navigate the court system to become American citizen. But keep in mind, at one time, half of the United States of America, I would say around 25%, because Florida, those were indigenous people, Hispanic people, down south like New Orleans, a huge Hispanic American population that still exists today that fought in the American Civil War, um, to to free the black community at that time. To how, so we did our part, and us Hispanics got to speak out. We got to come together. Now, if you're into the Bible, remember I could read and I read and studied the Bible in Hebrew, Aramaic, Koine Greek, and Latin. So, and on my other YouTube channel, if you're into the Bible like I am, finding out the truth about the Bible, who's the real God, right? Because we all could just sense it. We just know there's a God. It just makes sense. I lived life as an atheist for a few years, and during that experience of life, I had to rely on science. Charles Darwin, right? The father of evolution, the evolution theory. It's just a theory. It didn't make sense. There's no way random selection created this universe. There's no way that evolution can create a human body alone, an animal and trees, because for a human body and animals and insects, they have to be created right there on the spot automatically. You can't, I had a friend when I turned back to Hisham. Um, Hisham in Hebrew means the name of God, and he was a atheist too, and he was big on science and Charles Darwin and evolution. And I told him, just think about it, bro. What came first? Was it the eyeball to a human being? Was it an ear, a lip? Can you imagine all these organisms? 'Cause that's how Charles Darwin begins in his book, that it rained and created organisms in the ocean, and because of the current of the ocean, the waves push all these living, over billions of years, all these organisms formed and were pushed onto land, and that's where we come from in animals and all this crazy stuff, right? So I tell them to think about it. What formed first, the ear, the brain? And if it did, how did it survive? Because if you think about it, the natural environment here on Earth is hostile, right? And so that's the fallacy of Darwinism and the evolution theory. But we're here, America. Lulac is here. Hispanic American citizens, smash the like. Everybody, smash the like. Man, I'm glad Kamala Harris is running for president. I'm glad Tim Wals is running for president. The Hispanic community, the majority of us got your back. We got to go and we have to do our part to save America and to save ourselves. Everybody feels the financial pressure and the psychological pressure. And, you know, things have to change. Our government has to represent us. Our government shouldn't represent 10% of the population here that are billionaires that want to take away from us and give us low wages. And I mean, prices are just out, to this are ridiculous today. Excuse me, guys, but that's because of the Donald Trump American tax plan from his presidency. A lot of people don't understand, including myself. I had to research and that when a United States president becomes president, they push their policies, right? And when the next president comes, until that president through Congress gets their policies approved, it's the former president's policies that's pushing the United States of America. So that's why everything is just crazy out of control right now here in the United States of America when it comes to prices for goods, right? Basic goods that we all rely on is just out of the roof. And keep in mind, the Republican Party, they control the House and they shoot down majority of the Democrat, their policies that they try to get pushed up to Joe Biden to get signed. But here we are, you guys. Let's be proud about this one. Smash the like, drop a comment, tell me what you guys think. I'm gonna start making more content, and at my other channel, it's called Descendants of Noach. You have to spell Noach as N as in Nancy, OACH, and then you'll see my channel up here. Don't put channel because you won't find it. You have to put exactly Descendants of Noach and spelled that way. And then you see the rainbow, because remember, God gave the rainbow as a sign to Noah that he would never flood the earth. And go read. I showed the Greek and I translate it for you. I showed the Greek of the New Testament in Acts chapter 15, verse 20 and 21. I show how these are the seven Noahide commandments. So if you heard about the Noahide movement, it's all true, you guys. And like I said, I'll add more content and explain why I don't believe in Jesus anymore in the New Testament. When I discovered those seven Noahide commandments, you know, going back, 15 years ago, I didn't even know there were seven Noahide commandments. But I knew there were commandments that, the New Testament, or, the author wrote about that the Christians, if you want to call them that, or the God-fearers were told by the Pharisees, like Paul, that they had to keep these divine commandments to be righteous people, to inherit the resurrection of the dead, to inherit the world to come that's here on earth. God's going to come here on earth. But if you're into the Bible, subscribe over there, you guys. Thank you. It's good seeing everybody. Thank you.